At a family gathering, my uncle tried to humiliate me in front of everyone after I refused to help pay off his debt. He pointed directly at me and shouted, "You owe us for your success." I stood up, pulled a piece of paper from my pocket, and calmly said, "Then explain this." The instant his eyes fell on it, his face drained of color. I never expected what started as a typical family get-together to become one of the most satisfying moments of my life, but here we were. Family events have always been a mix of drama, disagreements about money, grudges, and minor squabbles. I usually keep my distance, but I still make an appearance at major gatherings to avoid further conflict. My uncle, let's call him Noah, has always been the family troublemaker. And it's not because he's misunderstood. He just refuses to take responsibility for anything. He's always chasing the next big scheme, hopping from one job to another, and spinning endless excuses for why nothing works out. He constantly borrows money, promising to pay it back but never doing so. I worked for every single thing I have. I didn't come from wealth. I juggled multiple jobs, took out loans, and struggled for years to build my career. No shortcuts. No handouts. But Noah? He insists my success is owed to the family. The reunion was at my cousin's house. I wasn't thrilled to go, but skipping would have caused even more drama. The early part of the day went smoothly, casual conversation, good food, catching up with cousins I actually liked. Then Noah stood up, cleared his throat, and made his way to the center of the room. When I saw that smug look on his face, I knew something was coming. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, sounding like he was about to give an important speech, "there's something we need to address. Something that concerns us all." People started to listen. I took a sip of my drink, already steeling myself. "Family is about supporting each other," he continued. "But some people here," he paused and shot me a pointed look, "seem to have forgotten that." I sighed. "Here we go. My dear nephew," he said with exaggerated sympathy, pointing at me, "has done very well for himself. Big house, fancy car, vacations, living the high life. And that's great, truly, it is." His voice dripped with fake sweetness. "But what about the family who made sacrifices so he could have these opportunities?" I stared back at him, unfazed. "I've fallen on hard times," he went on, shaking his head as if he were the victim. "And all I've asked for is a little help. But instead, I get ignored while my own flesh and blood lives in luxury." There were a few murmurs in the room. Some people looked at me, others just seemed uncomfortable. My mom, sitting across the room, was already rubbing her temples. She knew exactly what Noah was about. "That's not what family does," Noah shouted. "Family helps each other. So I ask you all, how is it fair that my own nephew refuses to help me while he sits on a fortune?" There it was, the guilt trip. He expected the room to turn on me, to force me into handing over money. But instead, the room went quiet. Everyone was waiting to see how I'd respond. I let the silence stretch on before I stood up. I wasn't angry. Actually, I was a little amused. Noah had no clue I was ready for this. I reached into my pocket, pulled out a folded piece of paper, and raised it up. "That's interesting, Noah," I said, keeping my tone calm. "Because if I owe you so much, maybe you can explain this." I unfolded the paper for everyone to see. As soon as Noah laid eyes on it, his face went pale. It was a signed loan agreement between Noah and me, a legal document that proved something crucial. Noah knew exactly what it was, but I wasn't about to let him off the hook. I held the paper higher for all to see. "This," I said, my voice steady, "is a signed loan agreement between Noah and me." The room fell dead silent. I scanned the room, ensuring everyone was paying attention. This isn't the first time Noah has asked for money. A few years ago, when he was in dire need, his words, not mine, I lent him a generous amount. But I wasn't foolish. I had him sign a simple contract, nothing complicated, just an agreement that he would pay me back within 2 years. I let that sink in for a moment. "That was 5 years ago," I added, calmly. The room shifted. Some people exchanged whispers. My mom, sitting across the room, was already rubbing her temples. She wasn't surprised. I turned back to Noah, who was now visibly sweating. "You never paid me back," I said, my voice gaining edge. "Not a single cent." And you never intended to, did you? Noah opened his mouth but no words came out. I wasn't done yet. You want to talk about family, Noah? I stepped closer. You talk about support, but what do you call lying? Manipulating? Stealing. His face twitched. I was going to pay you back, but, he stammered. But what? I cut him off. You've had 5 years. And now, instead of even attempting to settle your debt, you're standing here trying to guilt-trip me into giving you more. The tension in the room was palpable. No one was siding with Noah now. Even those relatives who usually defended him were quiet, avoiding eye contact. Then, just when I thought he had exhausted all excuses, Noah snapped. His face flushed red, and he pointed a trembling finger at me. Oh, don't act so high and mighty, he yelled. You think you're better than us just because you have money? You think you did this all on your own? Who do you think raised you? Who fed you as a kid? Who sacrificed so you could go to school? His voice was rising, full of anger. You. All of us. You wouldn't be here without this family. So that's what this was really about. Noah wasn't after money. He was trying to rewrite the narrative. He wanted everyone to believe that my success was because of him, that I owed it all to the family. I took a deep breath and slowly pulled out another piece of paper. Okay, Noah, I said, my tone calm but firm. Since we're talking about the past, let's talk about real sacrifices. I unfolded the paper and turned to the room. Mom, I called. Do you remember this? She squinted at the paper, then let out a bitter laugh. Oh, I remember it all too well. I turned back to Noah, holding up the paper. This, I said, my voice steady, is proof that when I was 18, I had to get a job while studying, because our dear Uncle Noah drained my mom's savings account. $155,000. Gone. Just like that. Gasps filled the room. Noah's eyes darted around, desperate for a way out. That was a mistake, he stammered. I didn't mean to. But you did it, I interrupted. And did you ever pay it back? Silence. I turned to my younger cousins. When I was in college, I worked double shifts at a gas station. I ate instant noodles for weeks at a time. And do you know why? I pointed directly at Noah. Because of him. Because my mother, his own sister, had to take out a second mortgage just to keep us afloat. Murmurs began to rise around the room. A few of my aunts looked at Noah with open disgust. But I wasn't done yet. You want to talk about sacrifices, Noah? What about Mom skipping doctor's appointments because she couldn't afford them? What about me begging for extra shifts just so we could keep the lights on? What about all the times you promised to pay her back and then vanished? Noah clenched his jaw, his face red with shame. Before he could even try to twist the story, I stepped forward and delivered the final blow. And let's not forget the best part, I said, dripping with sarcasm. After everything, after all the lies, the stolen money, you had the nerve to show up at my graduation and ask for more. Another round of gasps echoed through the room. Noah's mouth opened and closed, but no words came out. He looked around, desperate, but no one was on his side. Not a single person. I turned to the family, addressing them all. So tell me, does that sound like someone who deserves my help? Silence. Noah's breathing grew heavy. His fists were clenched in fury. This is all a setup, he growled. You're just trying to turn everyone against me. I let out a genuine laugh. It was a laugh of relief, and maybe a little bit of amusement. I don't need to turn anyone against you, Noah. You've done that all on your own. His eyes darted around, panic rising in his chest. His usual manipulation was failing. No one was defending him. He was on his own. And then, just when I thought he'd finally accept defeat, Noah did something I'll never forget. He lunged at me, wild-eyed and furious. For a split second, I thought he was really going to hit me, in front of the whole family. But before he could make contact, my cousin Mark, built like a linebacker, grabbed him midair and slammed him back onto the couch. The room erupted into chaos. My aunt screamed. Uncle George jumped up, ready to step in. Noah thrashed around, cursing under his breath, his face crimson with rage. Get off me, you piece of. Enough. Mark barked, shoving him down into the couch. You don't get to pull this crap anymore. I exhaled slowly, my fists still clenched. I'd expected drama, but not like this. Are you out of your mind? My mother shouted, storming over. You tried to attack your own nephew because he wouldn't bail you out? Noah was seething, but even he knew he was trapped. If he threw another punch, the police would be called. And just when it seemed like Noah's whole act was about to implode, something unexpected happened. From the back of the room, my Aunt Victoria, usually quiet and reserved, stood up. And what she said next changed everything. You know what, she said, her voice shaking with anger. I've had enough. I wasn't going to say anything, Victoria said, standing up, her voice trembling with fury. But since Noah wants to talk about who owes who, let's talk about the money he stole from me. Wait, what? Noah's head snapped in her direction. Pat, what are you talking about? He said, his voice shaky. Victoria's face was flushed with anger. You stole my husband's life insurance money. The room went dead silent. My stomach dropped. I had no idea about this. Victoria's husband, Uncle Rick, had passed away nearly a decade ago. He'd been a hard-working, kind man, the kind of person everyone in the family respected and admired. Noah let out a nervous laugh, avoiding eye contact. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, you do, Victoria snapped, her voice rising. I was grieving when Rick died. I trusted you. You told me you had a great investment that would double my money. I gave you $330,000. Noah, that money was for my kids, and you lost it all. Gasps filled the room. Noah shook his head frantically. I didn't lose it. It just didn't. Shut up. Victoria's voice cracked, her anger pouring through. You promised to pay me back in a year. It's been 10. Where's my money, Noah? Noah stammered, looking around the room, hoping for someone to defend him, but no one did. I stepped forward. Wow, first you drained my mom's savings, then you never paid me back, and now you stole Victoria's life insurance money? I let out a bitter laugh, shaking my head. Tell me, Noah, how many other people here did you scam? The room fell into an eerie silence. Then another voice spoke up. I lent him $5,000 last year, my cousin Robert muttered. He said he just needed a little help, never saw a cent back. More murmurs rippled through the room. I gave him $3,000. I gave him $10,000. One by one, half the family started speaking up. Noah had drained us all. And suddenly, it hit me, this wasn't just about getting money from me. Noah was drowning, desperate. The only way he knew how to stay afloat was to find someone else to use. That someone was supposed to be me. But not anymore. His breathing became shallow, his eyes darted around, looking for an escape, but there was no way out. Okay, look, he raised his hands, trying to placate us. I know things got a little messy, but I can fix this. I just need more time, more help, if we all chip in. Are you seriously asking us for more money? I snapped. Noah flinched. Without another word, he bolted for the door. Noah, someone yelled, but he didn't stop. He shoved past people, nearly knocking over a kid, grabbed his coat, and ran outside. And just like that, he was gone. Noah thought he could run from his problems, that he could keep lying, stealing, and manipulating his way through life. But this time, he messed with the wrong people. The second the door slammed shut, the room erupted. My mom was furious. Victoria looked like she might cry. My cousins were fuming. And me? I was done. I turned to the family. We have enough proof to take him down. Let's do it. Victoria nodded. I want my money back. So do I, Robert added. One by one, everyone Noah had scammed stepped forward. We made a plan, and this time, Noah was finally going to face the consequences. Victoria acted first. The very next morning, she went to her lawyer with everything, bank statements, emails, text messages. Since Noah had tricked her into giving him the life insurance money under false pretenses, her lawyer confirmed it was fraud, a serious crime. Next, I pulled out the loan agreement Noah had signed but never paid back. It was a legal contract, so I sued him. Then, one by one, the others followed: Robert, my mom, a few aunts, even a cousin from Florida. By the time we were done, Noah was drowning in lawsuits and facing a full-on fraud investigation. Noah had lost the trust of his family, but he still had friends, contacts, people who didn't know the truth. We made sure they found out. My cousin Sarah, brilliant with social media, took charge. She posted everything, screenshots of messages, proof of bank transfers, and legal documents. She didn't tag Noah directly, but it didn't matter. The post spread like wildfire. People shared it, commented, and even messaged their own experiences. It turns out, Noah had scammed more than just family. An old landlord said he skipped out on rent. A former coworker said he stole from a company Christmas party. Someone even found a fake GoFundMe page where Noah pretended to have a medical emergency. He'd been running scams for years. And now, everyone knew. 2 weeks later, we found out that Noah was hiding at a friend's house. His businesses had failed, his credit cards were maxed out, and now, with the lawsuits piling up, he was completely broke. Then he called my mom. "Please," he begged, his voice trembling, "just tell them to drop the lawsuits. I swear I'll pay everyone back." Mom laughed. "Oh, like you promised to pay me? Like you promised Victoria? Like you promised everyone?" Silence. Then, in the weakest voice I've ever heard, he whispered, "I have nowhere to go." Mom smirked. "Not my problem, Noah." Then she hung up. He tried calling other family members. No one picked up. He tried reaching out to friends, but after seeing the social media posts, they wanted nothing to do with him. Within a month, Noah had lost everything. His car was repossessed, he got kicked out of his apartment, his business was gone. Then came the final blow. Victoria's lawyer won the fraud case. The court ordered Noah to pay back every cent of the $330,000 he had stolen from her, but he had no money. So the court garnished his wages. Every job he managed to get, they took a big portion of his paycheck. He tried working under the table, but even then, word spread. No one trusted him anymore. Noah had finally run out of people to scam. It's been a year since we took Noah down. He still owes a lot of money to the family. No one talks to him. He jumps from one low-paying job to another, struggling just to get by. He has no support, no friends, nothing. And me? I'm doing great, life is good. And best of all, I don't have to deal with him anymore. Last I heard, he tried calling my mom again. She didn't even bother to answer. And that was the best revenge of all.